Laurie Whitwell has just confirmed Patrick Dorgu is out for 10 weeks. Now that scans have revealed the extent of the injury after, becoming Ballon Dorgu after the scream against Arsenal. It's a shame, to be honest, because he's just got going. People put their stocks into him, but we shouldn't be too down about this. It would be nice to see what he could offer against other sides, and it looks like he's going to be out for the next couple months and a half. So we're not going to see him until the back end of the season, more than likely in April. So it's a shame. It really is. He was showing real promise. He was showing Amorim that he was totally wrong about him in general. I gave him stick. I thought, even still to a degree, but even I thought that he didn't have the ability or capabilities to become a top Manchester United player. We didn't even know what his best position was. Left back, right wing, left wing. And now it looks like he was a big staple in Manchester United's side, under Michael Carrick. The balance he provides on the left-hand side is, can another player do that? Who else do we go and get? Now, do we definitely go into the loan market or the market and look for a left winger, for this season? Or are we capable? Because you always got to look to the board about these situations. You got to look towards what can we go and recruit and bolster our options to make sure that we go and get the best finish possible, which is, for us, top 4. Some of us might even scream the league. But I look at it like this, is if there is one more injury to Man United's front line, all of a sudden it looks weak. It doesn't look as potent. Bruno Fernandes, I'm pretty sure we can all agree, he's going to probably more than likely stay fit than all the others. But Diallo's known to pick up injuries. Cunha's known to pick up an injury. And Mbeumo looks like one of the more fit players of the whole team. It doesn't seem like he gets injured whatsoever. But Dorgu deserves a lot of his flowers, of recent. And he's, not even just the screamer. It's the work rate he puts in, the pressing he puts in. He's learning a lot. And you know what? When you see a young, capable player learning their trade and becoming better, it's just, especially for your own club anyways, it's very nice to see as an older person, who's nearly touching 30. But even for the older heads, like, you can see that there's something in there now, even just like his ball playing capabilities on the floor, more composed, helping out Luke Shaw, even with the doubling up, even some of the crosses he's been providing, the spaces he's invading, for him, this is a real blow. After, 2 absolute wonder games, you could maybe even say that Dorgu might be even a big game player, but we need a bit more of a, just need a bit more. I can't even think about it. You just need more of a sample size is the words I'm looking for. It's just 20, 21 years of age, and it's just, this is so damning, because it's just like, is it just me? Or do you United fans feel how I feel? We can never have anything too good. Something must hold up. There's got to be something that absolutely ruins our week or ruins our celebrations. It's so annoying, because it's just, as soon as you get going, there's always some sort of setback, whether it's nastiness in the news about a set player, or INEOS blazes out, and all this because they haven't done a certain thing, like maybe going to recruit another player, But does this provide opportunity? I think it does. With every negative particle in this world of football, there's always a positive, I find, and you've got to look for the positive. I'm not a top red. I'm a giddy merchant, and I'm a proud giddy merchant. Now, we saw Cunha come on the pitch, and we saw him play on that left-hand side, and we saw what he was doing to Ben White and coming on the inside. The difference is, obviously, we don't have that natural width as such, but if Carrick is this genius that we all believe him to be, then he will come up with different tweaks to make things work. There's no reason why Cunha can't hold down the left-hand side, especially with a lot of the situations of teams that are coming up, different kind of teams, Spurs and Fulham, completely different to a Bournemouth, And I look at that and think, well, that means Sesko will probably get more minutes when he comes on the pitch. Maybe Shea Lacey gets the nod as well. You know, Mantato as well is another young key player that, is quite highly rated within the Man United realm of, coaches and obviously fans. And it's just little bits and bobs like that. When you look at Dorgu's positioning of the last 2 games, whether it's Man City or it was the likes of Arsenal, Dorgu didn't exactly hold the width in both games. You look at his goal, for instance, in the likes of Bruno Fernandes when he's playing 1-2s. He's playing as an inside forward, as a left winger that's left-footed, not even right-footed. And you look at Cunha's goal off the left-hand side. We don't have many players that can do stuff like that. Especially when they've got a lot of space. So it looks like we have got a bit of a like for like situation going on. And I'm viewing it in a sense where it just opens up the opportunities. But this is where INEOS can't let up. And this is where they need to come together and find a solution as well. Do they trust in the team and the squad to stay fit? We apparently got De Ligt coming back in defensive reinforcements. We've got Mazraoui now. But in the same breath, it's like, what about how much attacking options do we have at our disposal? Now you look at, we got Sesko who can play up front. We got Cunha who can play off the left. Mbumo, who could probably do a job on the left as well if you need him to. You got the likes of, obviously, Amad Diallo. You got Bruno Fernandes. And then there's obviously Mason Mount. Now, I've just given about 7 different capabilities or 7 different options that could play there. But, Carrick likes playing players to their strengths. And I think when you come up against the likes of Fulham and Spurs, I'm not saying Dorgu can't handle it or Dorgu wouldn't be able to be capable, but maybe Cunha offers that little something that Dorgu doesn't have at this moment of time. But it would be nice if we had every single option available and players fighting for their spots, not knowing that if they're going to play the next game or not, but, just to push them that extra level or so. Now, Dorgu stocks can stay in the fold. But when you got a hamstring injury, and it's not the worst hamstring injury in the world, so that's a good thing, right? That's another positive. So that's 2 positives at this point in time. Is that when he does come back, it might take him a little while to get going, especially if he's going to be due back in mid-April. He might be able to come back maybe at the start of April, right? Because if you look at the end of the week now and another couple months, February is a bit of a short month. It looks like it's going to be mid-April. Is that it's probably going to take him maybe 1, 2, 3 weeks to get going again, especially with fitness. But this is where you come and get these naturally athletic players like Dorgu himself. I think he would find fitness very quick. It's just the match sharpness. And you know what? If we can get him going in May, until the end of that, obviously the season of what we got, it's going to be around the 20th or whatever it may be. He can still go to the, I don't even know if Denmark are in the World Cup. I don't think they are. But if he can get going, we're going to have a little bit of a brand new play on our hands in the summer, and it will make Man United think of what his best position is. Now, I need to ask you guys, if we're going to do this Dorgu prop as well, what is his best position? Is he a player that can play multiple? Does he really need to nail down only one position, or is he just a good option in general? There's a lot of questions around it. But Cunha's time is to step up now. Your opportunity is there. It's a given. He's going to start left wing, right? So now he's had a good couple cameos off the bench. This is the time where, last time he played against Fulham, Cunha was absolutely outstanding until he got injured. He hit the post, I think, a couple times, missed a one-on-one. If I'm correct, it might have been a mixed match, might have been just one of both situations. This is it. This is the front 3 that Man United, or front 4, should I say, that Man United fans have been asking for a while. It's just, I hate why Dorgu, man, because he's just had a good run of form now, and all that confidence and everything is just going to go back to the norm. But we must remain positive and we must get going again. It's as simple as that. This is football, this is life, and this happens every single season, unfortunately. But guys, look, smash the likes, give me your thoughts in the comments. It's unfortunate, Ballon Dorgu was all there, now he's not, but he still remains of that. He'll be back at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later, and can provide something when we play against Liverpool in May. So that's that. We should be targeting that in a bit. Cheers.